Alright, let's see. There we go. Yep, looks like we are live. Let me just make sure before I get started that we are live everywhere. So let me check YouTube. Yep, we're live there. Twitch. Not live on Twitch yet. Oh, no, I am definitely live on Twitch. Alright, there we go. Welcome back to the Social Otaku. My name is Josh. Elliot will not be joining us. At this point, we have some scheduling conflicts. We won't be able to continue doing the streams with Elliot, at least for now. Just with, again, like I said, our scheduling conflicts. But from now on, it should be on Tuesdays again. Today we will have a guest, Black-Striped Prism, and I'll get to that in just a second. But I just wanted to mention, since we have gone on hiatus, I have gone through quite a bit of stress recently, which is why I didn't feel up to doing this particular podcast. But doing things like this, doing things like World War Weeb, and the music that we're going to be talking about today with the artist Black-Striped Prism, a lot of this is not only a way to express yourself, but a way to communicate with other people about the things that go on in your life or the things that you are passionate about. So, with no further ado, let me go ahead and give him a call and see if we can get him on the podcast today. So, as I get this call set up, I just want you to know a little bit about this. I met Black-Striped Prism at a convention a little while back, and he was very interested in what we're doing, so we're going to bring him on and ask him a few questions today and make this pretty much entire podcast an interview. So let me see. I can... Hello? Oh, one second, dude. I cannot hear you. It might be my streaming software. Give me 1 second. Okay. Can you... Oh, there we go. So I can hear you. Go ahead and say one more thing. I can make sure my streaming software is hearing you. No, it is apparently not. See, that's fun. This is the first time I've used, I'm using FaceTime on my computer, and I could have sworn, the way I had it set up, that it would have worked. But, apparently not. Let me go ahead and cut out the background music for a second, and of course there's a hiccup. This is the first podcast I've done since the hiatus I took, so I do apologize for that. Let's see. Alright, try talking again. Well, Well, time to look at my audio settings. I was certain this was going to work. I spent time and effort getting this to work, and then it decided to not do that. No, I don't think that's the problem. I think it's just not picking it up because it thinks it's a phone call, and it apparently doesn't want to put the phone call into the audio. Okay. Let me try. Alright, let's see if this will play nice. So if we add a new audio input capture into OBS, and then grab the audio there. Okay, say something again.
Hello?
Oh, no, now it's still... Hang on. Almost. I swear, we're almost there, because I know my software is picking you up. Oh, yeah, Bagels, no, I know it's a privacy thing, but it needs to stop being a jerk.
Is it picking me up now?
Alright, let's see. Well, yeah, see, Bagels, I know y'all can hear him now, but I can't hear him anymore. And that's the problem. Wait, hang on. Oh, no. I think I see what the problem was. Say something again, ma'am?
Hello?
Yeah, that's what it was. I hate the software so much. Sorry. There was an old piece of software I used to use for stuff like this, and then they scrapped it. And this new software is evil incarnate.
No worries at all.
Oh, I'm gonna have to lower your volume just a little bit. There we go. It's okay, my volume is lowered too. Alright, I can hear him, and it looks like the chat can hear you.
And I can hear you.
Sweet. Okay, everyone's hearing each other, and I don't think that we're destroying anything at this point, so I think we're good.
Destroying anything is not good, yes. Unless
Usually
it's in a
not.
game.
That's true. That is very true. So like I was just telling everyone before I gave you a call, I mentioned that you are a musician who goes by the name of Black-Striped Prism.
Yes, sir.
I have managed to listen to some of your music, and it's really interesting, and I think I noticed why you didn't tell me what type of music you wrote, because it's not really one genre, is it? It's not a specific genre, really. So here's a thought that I had that hopefully... Now I just want to know, I'm just going to play the beginning. I just want to know if you can hear this through the way I've set up my software.
Okay. Cannot hear anything.
It's a little quiet. It seemed to have gone a little bit quiet just to begin with.
No, I can't hear it. If you tell me what song it is, though.
Yeah, I was going to try and play Letters for you. Oh, actually, no,
sweet.
I know why that's not working. Hang on.
Letters is a great song, by the way. Everyone should listen to it.
I agree. That's a little quiet. It's a little quieter than I initially thought it would be, but
I was conscious of the trap I was falling in, fully aware of the repercussions.
nothing.
I cannot hear.
Oh,
No,
I
I
tried.
cannot.
This software is obnoxious.
I just appreciate you trying. I really do. Honestly,
But
I
yeah, so
appreciate you
anyway,
trying.
let me go ahead and play for the stream just a little bit of letters so that they can hear what it is that we are going to be talking about today.
Okay, great.
And I can see that's definitely coming through on the stream just fine, so.
Great. Yeah, letters. I really take pride in letters. Put a lot of effort into that one. That particular song is probably my first release in a couple of years.
Yeah, I did notice it.
Fluid by desire for a physical interaction, caught unexpectedly by an emotional attraction, hooked on victim to this charming bait, another ensnared in a cramped crate. I was conscious of the trap I was falling in, fully aware of the repercussions. Deliberately I succumbed to temptation, sacrificing salvation for a false elation.
I released everything at the same time when it came to
Slowly
letters.
recognizing
So
it as signs
I
of a
initially
curse.
I was trying to go for it the date of February 1st, but it just auto-distributed the day before, which I'm fine with. But usually I'll create a lyric video to go along with whatever song I'm releasing, and they all release at the same time, which is why in this case the topic is there, but not on my actual channel, just because I haven't had the time to get lyrics to go for it. But I'm planning on it. I'm trying to use a new software, trying to figure it out. So really, every time I make a new song, I'm always trying to evolve myself in every way. The artwork, the lyrics, the vocals, just trying to step up the presentation, everything. So I really want to test out this new software. It might be a little, it might be kind of a simple video compared to other lyric videos that I've created, but I'm kind of using it as a testing project, because the rest of my album is going to be I want to be progressing with every song that I'm making, every video I'm creating, all the artwork I make. Because I also try to do most of my own artwork. So in letters, I actually created that artwork as well. And a lot of this stuff I'm figuring out for the first time. A lot of it playing around with things and experimenting and then waiting till I find something that I like.
So what inspired you to start making this music?
So, kind of a long story, but when I initially just started with music, I started with lyrics. So back when I was probably 12 or 13, I was introduced to a band called Linkin Park. And so every song that I listened to one after another, it was great. Like I vibed with it. I loved the lyrics. I loved the instrumentation. I loved everything about it. And so it came to a point when I started in high school. As you may know, high school can be a tough and challenging thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And so for the things that I was going through, I wanted a safe way to release all the emotions.
Okay.
So I started writing lyrics. and my very first song was actually kind of a
Mm-hmm.
copy template of a Linkin Park song.
Mm-hmm.
But from there, I just kept writing and writing and writing throughout high school, throughout college. Somewhere along the line, I picked up the drums, planned on starting a band.
Okay.
It's very hard to coordinate different people with different schedules and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
So
play
that,
Dungeons and Dragons. I definitely know what that's like.
so as you can imagine, if everyone's got different schedules,
Mm-hmm.
you can't just have one person show up or even just two people because then the rest of the band or the
Right.
rest of your squad is like, oh, well, we can't make it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we can't play. um, so came to a point where, I was trying to do as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the lyrics. I was coming up with instrumentals, and I just wanted everyone's feedback. After a while, it didn't pan out. So actually, a friend of mine, since I wasn't very vocal
Mm-hmm.
about my lyrics, I wasn't very vocal about my instrumentals. It was kind of a secret thing because it was just a way for me to release like emotions
Mm-hmm.
and release things I've experienced and things I've seen. But one of my friends was like, "Hey, you should, do something with this. Like, we should do something with it. Let's do it together." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And so, knowing his background
Mm-hmm.
of liking mostly hip hop music,
Mm-hmm.
versus mine of liking primarily, I want to say rock, like new metal, Linkin
Mm-hmm.
Park, Papa Roach, Evanescence,
Right.
typically my style of things. I wanted to try to make something that could adhere to what he likes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started experimenting with different sounds and stuff and writing the lyrics. And because once again, life came in the way, he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't actually able to make it.
Oh man.
And so I had started this project now. It was probably like 6 months in, and I was like, I'm going to keep going with this. Like, this is great. I'm not restricted anymore. With
Mm-hmm.
me before wanting to be in a band, I had to stay in a certain style. But now as a
Mm-hmm.
solo artist, I can experiment with all these genres. If I want to do a classical song, I can do classical. If I want to do electronic, I can do that. If I want to do hip hop, rock, metal, anything, I'm not restricted. And so it was just a point of me experimenting
Mm-hmm.
and just writing new lyrics that didn't have a box. And from it, Black-Striped Prism came. And so when I was making the name Black-Striped Prism, I wanted it to symbolize that, you know, an artist without a restriction. So I kind of saw colors
Mm-hmm.
as different genres of music, and a prism reflects light, which is ultimately how we see colors.
Mm-hmm.
So the prism is reflecting light, reflecting all these genres, and then the color black absorbs light. So the stripe is absorbing all these genres at the same time. So it's like I'm showcasing these different genres while also taking them in as influences, inspirations, representing them out in a new, unique way. And so the rest is history. From then, I've just been writing and producing and evolving my sound, evolving my platform.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I write a song, it always has to have a message. I There's so much going on in the world, and I've known so many people. I write so that people can relate to what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
write for a safe way for people to feel like they're not alone, for them to know that people are understood.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I make lyrics, that's the goal. Like, is this something that is lyrically appealing, and is it relatable? And can anyone listen to it and feel something from it? So that would be my long story of how the Black Strike Prism came to be.
Well, it's a very interesting story. I'll say that. Um, I mean
Thank
that
you.
that kind of blows through a few of the questions I was going to ask you as well, so that helps. I was going to ask you about like what's your process like, or how do you stick to or choose what genres, but I think you kind of for the most part, talked about those.
I can go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to go a little bit more in depth about, kind of, I guess your process whenever you start a song, what do you do, when you want to make something new?
Okay, so for the most part, I've been accustomed to writing lyrics first,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then making the instrumental to match it. Just because if I experience something or I get an idea, it just easily, I just think in lyrics
Mm-hmm.
at times, especially when I'm really deep in feelings. It just uh, it just comes out as lyrics. But I've experimented with writing the instrumental first and then the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics, or writing them both at the same time. But generally, I'll write the lyrics first and then start with the instrumental. And then when I'm practicing vocals, I'll tweak the lyrics a bit if they
Mm-hmm.
don't fit, or if I can't pronounce something correctly or in time, I'll
Mm-hmm.
tweak it like that. Currently, the album I'm working on, it's a bunch of lyrics that I am trying to make the instrumental for, and it's over 20 something odd songs. So
Yeah, definitely a
that's
lot of work.
that is definitely a lot of work. And then as for the what genre do I
Mm-hmm.
typically go for? It just honestly, for certain songs, I foresee like a certain genre, but other times it's just what do I feel when I look at these lyrics? What do I feel in the moment of that? Like it's kind of like I'm watching, say, an anime like Naruto, and you see the characters going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then there's that instrumental in the background. So for me, it's kind of like I put myself in that mindset of how I felt at that moment, and what do I see myself as, and the background music kind of comes into play with that. I just, I'm like building my own soundtrack in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's primarily what happens. In other cases, um, if I have noticed that I'm almost done with an album and I still have like a couple more songs left, like for example, my album Reconverge,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was intentionally trying to touch on various genres. And so when I got down to Evolution, which was one of the last songs made, I said, what genre haven't I touched yet? And so in that case, it was EDM.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started playing around with different stuff and listening to EDM to try to get that style. And of course, not copy it, keep my own unique style, way to it. But um, it was just one of those things where I haven't tried this genre out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try it out, see what happens. And voila.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I've recently been attempting to get back into making music because I come from a very musical background, but making music electronically has kind of eluded me, I guess. It was never in my career path, and it was never as big of a passion, I guess, as it is for you. Um, but I did actually end up getting a master class recently, specifically for EDM.
Well,
So I guess we'll see how that goes. But as far as the vocals, that's all you, right?
that is all me.
Yeah, it freaks me
I
out a little bit because your hip hop voice does not sound like your metal voice. Like you have a really anyone who listens to letters, which you should, it because I kind of quieted it down while you were talking earlier, but you should listen to it because it just you have the kind of hip hop vocals at the beginning, and then you go into a very aggressive metal growl. Or I guess sometimes people call it a screaming metal voice or metal singing. I call it a growl. I don't know if there's an official term, but that metal voice that you have is so dramatically different. It's
it
crazy.
I've actually heard that a lot because people who know me, they'll be like, "That's you." That that is because I'm typically soft spoken and I'm
Hmm.
typically quiet, and so when I introduce people to my music, I'm like, just so you know, you're not gonna see it coming. It's not gonna be what you expect. Um, and actually, primarily the reason I actually started doing those type of vocals was because I would write, like I told you, I would write the lyrics first, and it was just so happened to be a chorus that needed a singer, and it just felt great the way that it was written. But I couldn't find a singer, and so I would improvise, and so I discovered a new talent.
Yeah, I mean, having done very, very limited stuff like that myself, and when I say very limited, I mean I tried it once, and then I was like, oh no, this is not for me. I can do other things for metal, but not the screaming metal voice.
And
Like
to
that
be fair,
is,
you're very talented.
it's very difficult to do.
You're
So
very talented, so I think that leaving one talent out there for other people is all right.
I
Um,
appreciate
but
that.
of course, yeah. To be honest, they're not my favorite either. They can be quite strenuous on the
Oh
vocal
yeah.
cords, which is why I try not to do them too often.
Hmm.
I actually hope to find a singer, a couple of singers to help me out with this album. But um, but yeah, I very much envy those people who go out and do concerts and every day
Oh
they
God, yeah.
are they're doing that to their vocal cords, and it's crazy because that takes practice
Yeah.
to do it right without, permanent damage on the vocal cords. That is, it's a lot of practice. I kind of do it a different way than I think most singers do.
Hmm.
Um, the way that I try to do it, um, typically doesn't do too much damage to my vocal cords. And I know before I would do it very much the wrong way, and like I could feel it the next day. And so I thought I would have to take a back seat from vocal for like
Hmm.
a couple of days. Um, but I
Yeah.
really do appreciate you recognizing. Um, I like the way you described it. It was very accurate and very common of people's reactions to it.
Yeah, I mean I think that was probably the first thing I noticed when listening to it because I was thinking, okay, it's kind of hip hop, maybe almost lo-fi type vibe here, and then you go into the metal, and I'm like, oh, this is different.
There's a lot of songs like that where out of nowhere they'll it'll come out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Um, I have a song called My Light that um, is kind of like my homage to Linkin Park,
Hmm.
because they're such a big influence and inspiration to me. I mean, they still are. Um, and so I kind of wanted to make a song in that style to where, to like the hybrid and medieval days, because that's what I was first introduced to. And so if you listen to that song, it's kind of like, oh, this is cool. This is like a rock hip hop type
Hmm.
song. And then you have me alternated between me rapping and me singing. And it throws people off. Um, or I have a song called A Reflection of Myself that, same thing. It's kind of like letters in the sense like it sounds very hip hopish,
Hmm.
and there's no guitar in it. But then out of nowhere, there's my singing.
Yeah.
So I try my best to leave people unexpected, to have every song have something that distinguishes itself, something that was unexpected whenever people listen to it. And I try to, honestly, without it being pop, I try to make my music a variety so
Hmm.
that people from any genre preference can listen to it. Because you've got the rock people
Hmm.
who very much like rock and metal and all that kind of stuff. There's songs for them. And you've got the people who like hip hop or rap,
Hmm.
and have songs for that. And the old classical. I try to touch on every genre.
Yeah, it's really really cool that you've not only been able to do this, but honestly that you've been able to put so much heart into it. I know that can be very difficult to talk about things publicly. I mean, kind of described this to someone else earlier today when I was telling him who I was going to have on my podcast, and I guess the way I described it is almost like you found a way to write a personal journal, but in a way that other people could listen and appreciate it. Would you say that's accurate?
No idea how happy that makes me feel. That's exactly what I'm going for, because when I look back at my lyrics, even the ones before Black-Striped Prism, it's kind of like a journal, like you said. It's a memoir of my life in a way. And, also things I've experienced, things I've seen other people experience. But you're right, it's like a journal, and I always try to make it relatable because I love to help people. This has always been who I am, what I want to do, and honestly, I really hope that my music takes off and spreads, because I really feel like my music could help people. I don't know if you've ever gone through YouTube and you listen to a song and then you look at the comments and people are like, I really feel this, and this is going to feel my life, or things like that, and it's like, I want that, because it's like I'm putting my soul out there, but it's a risk I have to take if I want to be able to reach those people who feel misunderstood, who just want to save their life, because I have some pretty out there songs, like especially with the songs that are out there now, or more common, like just general themes. My songs are always have some kind of message, whether it's a relationship type problem or a self problem, just anything that humans experience. I try to put it in a way that it's relatable. Like, I try to stay away from he or she, unless the song really calls for that. I try to think more like I, you, they, or we, just so it can genuinely play out, and people can relate to it and say, but I'm the I in that, that is me, versus artists and you can tell that they're really writing about their specific experience, and they're just venting in a way. And there's nothing wrong with that. I listen to artists that do writing. They're some of my favorite artists. As much my role model, favorite artists. I know that you guys are especially really comfortable with. But it still relates to people. I just so happen to want to do it in a way that anybody can listen to this song, and if they can relate to it at all, that they can put themselves in that shoes without it being so specific to my actual situation. Because I don't want to restrict it to just my story. I want it to be able to relate to anybody's story.
Honestly, I think it does. I mean, you've had some experiences that a lot of people have had, and a lot of the lyrics that I was seeing in your music seems to be something that, even if you haven't experienced, you've had something similar. You've had a similar idea. So I definitely think that, how do I want to put this? I definitely think you're succeeding in what you're trying to do, at the very least. And I've really enjoyed listening to this music. Once I got the chance, once I wasn't busy as all get out when we first started talking about this, it was really nice to listen to something that was honestly unique as what you have to offer.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening to it. Honestly, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you about it and be on the podcast is I know you similarly like to help people. You mentioned we met at a convention, and just the way you spoke about yourself and how you reached out to try to help other people. Even if it's a podcast, a good comedy, or whatever, at the end, you're still trying to help people. And I really admire that. Because it's not easy for anybody to share their personal experiences. It's not easy to reach in. But that you've gone this traumatic experience that you've gone through, just talk about it. And so, I just really enjoy being around people that have that passion to help people. And, obviously see what you do. And, like I said, I admire you for it. I thought you're talented because you really are. All the stuff that you do, all the work that you put in. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my music.
Yeah, I'm really glad I was able to. I'm getting a comment, and I think I know what's going on. So that, by the way, I'm just going to mute you on the stream for a second. Also be able to hear you, but the stream won't. The reason for that is that the software that I'm using to be able to get you to be hearable through the privacy filter, essentially on my computer, what I had to finagle to get working. I haven't paid for this. It's in a trial mode, and because it's in a trial mode, it decided to time out randomly. I didn't realize that it was only going to be like 20 some odd minutes. So I'll be working on that. I think I should at some point be able to purchase it, but that being said, I'm gonna ask the people in my comments, were you able to hear him even though there was a bunch of static? Like, could you still hear him over the static at least a little bit? Because that would mean that there's like 5 or 6 minutes of just static and some wah-wahs in the background. Which I genuinely hope that we got your real answers here. Yeah. We actually increased in viewers. It's not, I didn't advertise this one as much, honestly, because it's been a whole lot of work just getting stuff done on my Discord server. I'm gonna turn your audio back on just in case. I know the static is there, but hopefully it won't be too distracting because I'm louder than the static. So if I keep talking, maybe it'll be okay. Yeah, what was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, about the viewers, and why I didn't advertise it as much. Mostly because I've been trying to get a lot of stuff done in the community that I told you about, the Discord community, and I wanted to get this done. I wanted to get this interview taken care of. Honestly, if I can get you back on where we don't have a crud ton of static, we could definitely have you back on, like, especially if you release something new, or you feel like you have other things that you want to bring to the table, or that you feel you can bring to the table. I would definitely want to give you another call and hopefully not have to deal with all these technical issues.
Totally fine with me. I'm actually trying to work on a couple of songs, and I'm trying to release something sooner rather than later, since it has been since February since I released Letters. I'm hopefully going to release something soon, and maybe have a lyric video out with it.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet, but I could definitely come back on around that time. That way I have something more than Letters you can talk about. And in the meantime, please go listen to Black-Striped Prism and Recent Days. Those are two albums that I self-produced, self-wrote. Did lyric videos for all of them as well. So there's still plenty of content for people to catch up on in the meantime. And then next time I'm on, I could talk about the next song that I released. And honestly, I would just love to be back on the show.
Yeah, and I'd love to have you. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mute you one more time just so I can talk without distraction of that, so they can no longer hear you. But what I'm doing right now is I am putting the link to your YouTube channel in the chat on YouTube, and I'll put it in the description later as well. So they can go and they can listen to your music themselves, because I think that's very important. Um, that being said, I think, yeah, from what it looks like, I think it was a little too distracting to have it was basically a virtual DAW, and it was, yeah, it was busting everything through, but then it decided to just start making static happen, so that was no good. No, it was specifically on my computer. The privacy of FaceTime um, just kind of made it, yeah. For example, I also can't record my screen when I'm watching a show on iTunes for the same reason. The privacy will start. So yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, they couldn't hear your joke just then, but let me tell everyone that it was hilarious, and it was absolutely wonderful. So yeah, was there something you wanted to say again?
Channel. I do have two playlists from my previous album, and on those playlists, it's in album order. They're not chronological, the track order. And I personally made lyric videos for all 24 of their songs.
Okay.
So I just want to point that out so that when people see the YouTube channel, that they know that's the correct one. Because they don't have lyric videos for all of them. Because I know there's a difference between my channel and my topic channel.
Right, yeah. So they'll have different playlists, they'll have different music, so I'm just going to mute you again. So, yeah, just to reiterate, just in case you weren't able to hear what he said, he does have playlists for his albums as well as lyric videos on the channel that I put in the chat. So, let me just see what we want to do. So, yeah, like I said, I would love to have you back. I think this is probably, with all the technical issues coming back, I think this is a good place to leave our call for now, and then I'll wrap up the podcast when we're done with that. If you want to stay on, great, but they won't be able to hear you on the call at that point.
Thank you for having me, Josh. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I very much look forward to being back on the podcast. And I appreciate everyone who took the time to listen. And I hope everyone enjoys my music.
All right, and thank you very much. I am, once again, for the very last time, muting you. And at this point, I will just take the time to talk about our Discord and the fact that my Patreon is actually up now. So I probably should put things in the chat like I did before, because that would be the smart thing to do, but we will see if Josh is doing the smart thing today. Josh is not, because Josh opened up an app and then clicked all of the wrong things. Alright, so let me just pull this up. So what I'm trying to do with the Discord, and I do want to thank everyone who continued to listen even with the static. I will hopefully be fixing that at some point in the future, although this is probably the only time that it's going to come up, seeing as I did have to actually make a call. So that being said, on our Discord, we are trying to build a community where, just like with this podcast or with the panels that I do at conventions, we're trying to create a community where everyone feels welcome, where everyone can be the nerd that they feel that they are, whether you're an anime nerd, a gaming nerd, what have you. I'm really hoping that we can get people together for that. So what I'll do is, once again, I'll put the link to the Discord in the chat if you want to join, or find some friends who might also want to join, and just spread the love, if you will. Be a part of our community. That would be absolutely fantastic. As far as the Patreon, I do offer charisma coaching services. It also links directly to the Discord, which means if you do decide that you want to take advantage of some of the tiers that I have so far, which again will be fleshed out a little bit more as time goes on. But for now, we have my charisma coaching services and some perks for the Discord that are currently on the Patreon, and I will be expanding that hopefully very soon. Hopefully, no promises, but hopefully by the end of the week. So without further ado, let me put the links to the Discord in the chats, so that, like I said, if you want to join the community, you absolutely can, and we would welcome you, or we will welcome you with open arms when or if you decide to join us today. And then I'm sure we can find a link to the Patreon, but that sounds like a bunch of effort. And seeing as it's really more important that you find a community, I really care more about the Discord anyway. So, that being said, I hope you joined the Discord. I hope you enjoyed this. I do apologize once again for the static once the trial limitations kicked in on that piece of software. I will be fixing that as best as I can in the future, and look forward to talking to y'all again.